YouTube up live here. So happy Monday, guys. I hope you guys had a great weekend. If you are new to the community or new to the channel, the huddle is going to be specifically around the SPY, as that's what we trade the most. But I'm going to talk a little bit about a really cool feature that we created that is something that makes options super simplified. Anybody out there who has tried to trade options, it's very difficult, not only to learn the TA that goes with it, but also to know which strategy to use, what to click. I mean, as you guys have probably found out, one mistake in options can cost you quite a bit. So we're going to talk about how we kind of simplified that. So first, let's just talk about kind of where we went last week, what happened, where we're going, and kind of where I think we're going as far as this week goes. So first, let's talk about the actual SPY itself. So I'm going to open up this channel here. I only have the two indicators on there now, which is the Harmonic Tracker Pro and the Gap Fill Tracker. So currently we're on the 5 minute. I'm going to flip over to the 1 hour here, and I want to kind of scrunch this down a little bit. So there's a few things that we're watching when it comes to this 1 hour chart. You can see the indicators itself does really well as far as calling some pretty specific movements. You can see as high as up here, we got the short, got the nice little long. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, guys, but this is 447.76 all the way to 451, right? I mean, that's a huge movement. We got the short call, the long call, the short call. We did flip to this long call. We had a short call here, which at the time that it had called it out, it was about 431.57, and we got down to about 430, right? So we're still in that short call. But the thing that I want to have you guys watch the most here, guys, is one, we have this push up with this bull flag beginning to form. We are getting a little bit of bullish divergence. I don't know that I like it doesn't seem like enough strength. We didn't quite get low enough. I mean, it's more of an equal low here with a lower low on the candles. But in order for these flags or these patterns to play out, typically you do need that divergence. So we do have some divergence in there that could be enough to potentially flip this, right? So we want to watch for that. In a larger look, what I want you guys to do is to take a line from this side here over to this side there. The reason why is we do have your cup and potential handle that is trying to form here. So if we do, let's say, pump up over the next few days or up to this week ending, and we happen to get back up to that 437 range, it's going to be key, because it's either going to fail to break this neckline, and we're going to just absolutely tank in a pretty nasty way. Or we're going to flip this, and you're going to see support held at that 438, which is going to cause just an absolute chain reaction of us exploding north. So that's more of a longer term outlook that I'm looking at from an hourly. The divergence hunter is flipping green on that. But there's a lot of variables too, guys. We have some news coming out this week that is going to furthermore either support or invalidate what we believe is going to be said by Powell coming up on Thursday. So for those who are not following that, if you go into the economic calendars, the economic events, keep in mind, all of the data that comes in throughout this thing, it's all leading up to what is the Fed going to do. And so you can see, throughout the week, you want to look at the heads here. So you look for primarily the three heads is going to be the most impactful. So you have retail sales here, and then as you come back down through, you can see crude oil inventories, building permits, some things that are going to basically be used to determine what they're going to do on the Fed side of it, right? You got the jobless claims here at 8:30, and then the biggest thing is going to be you're going to have Powell speaking right here at 12 o'clock. So how that data all lines up and how the price moves this week is going to be in speculation to what he's going to do or what he's going to say. So that's just something to keep an eye on in the back of your mind. When we flip over to our EMAs, if I mute these ones, bring on the Bollinger and the zone, you can see that the Bollingers flipped red a little bit here, right? But they're still kind of expanding. They actually flipped back to orange already, which is more neutral. We are coming out of a support zone, a little bit of a soft resistance area right there, but if we break through there, this is our absolute strong resistance there. So looking at this, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of, watching this 21 SMA and the 200 EMA. We are above this 200 EMA and we are above the 21 SMA. So this is basically, if you look here, we broke above it, tried to break below it. We got support on it, took off. We stayed above the 21, tried to break below it, exploded north, crashed below it. We retested perfectly off of the 200, came right back up, retested near this other side, kind of shoulder, broke back below our 200. And then, if you zoom out, you can see what the area that was once resistance turned to support, and that's causing a nice little push movement up. The fact that we're coming from here, this was our 2 points right here. So that's our third point. So the fact that we're coming up from this third point up to this upper pivot here kind of solidifies that we have this potential bull flag playing out. So this is going to be a very important line to watch. This one here, just kind of tighten that up. And if we flip above this, right, and we start to hold support, there could be a pretty nice move north for us on that. So as long as we stay above this 21, just be real careful on your puts, because we do have some resistance levels up here, but if we're staying above, just like back here, right, there could be some definite push north. So let's take a look at the VIX just to kind of validate what we're talking about. So the VIX is interesting because we are in a short, tons of red harmonics up here on the 5 minute, which it's trying to fight this level here. If this breaks down, obviously that's going to help push the SPY north. So we can take a look at the 1 hour. In the grand scheme of things, if you look at the VIX on the 1 hour, you can see we are right at the red area up here with plenty of room to come down. So that would also solidify that push north if that were to hold. So yeah, you can see resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. It's definitely near a very, very difficult level for it to pass. So somewhere in that 20 range. We are flipping red out of a red break here, which is indicative also of a potential pullback. So we may see a little bit of a bullish bounce, right, if the patterns continue to hold, and we can break some key levels. So we'll talk about that more in the room when we're trading today. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar is breaking down, so we are below on the 5 minute, the 200. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour is kind of interesting because I'd be curious to see if we come down here on the 200 and we do get a bounce of support, which would drive the markets down, and then we create another shoulder, end up with a head and shoulder type of setup, break that neckline, and reclaim this side here. So that would be something I would be watching for on the dollar. Just crazy resistance on our zone tracker there. It's pretty wild how wide that is. I haven't seen that wide in a while. The interesting thing too I wanted to kind of point out is there's some of these tech stocks, like you have Apple that is above the 200 on that. You have the Google that's above the 200, but it has somewhat of a head and shoulder type pattern forming. You have Amazon that is also trying to continue above that 200, but it also does have a little kind of ugly looking potential head and shoulder type of setup, right? So it's above that line where you'd want to be thinking bullish, but potential bearish pattern, right? So if we see the tech stocks begin to flip, that could be a sign that the SPY is going to break down as well. So you can see Tesla played out perfect on the 1 hour here. We had our bear flag that broke down. It's getting into an area where we're starting to see a bullish gap fill start to apply. Once this flips green, right, we can definitely see a bounce into Tesla. So let's jump into Bitcoin, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what some stuff we created that's pretty awesome. So Bitcoin, if you look at here, if you're trading crypto, and we had our ascending triangle here, broke out. Basically, that 26.8 support, which is what we marked right here, you can see it just continued to hold had our break north, we got our fractal, everything. I mean, you can see we are definitely overbought on the 1 hour, and we are near some pretty critical resistance. So you can almost mark this as a spot to watch as long as we stay below this line. You're going to want to look for those bearish patterns or put setup or short setups. But if you break above 27.984 or so, and we begin to hold support, then you can ride that up to the next level. So SPY, you're always late, link to bio. I just did SPY. And so that's pretty much what I have for Bitcoin. I haven't really done the TA on Ethereum in some time. Not a lot of people seem to be trading it in our community. So I want to talk a little bit about kind of BotJock and what we created. This is also for those that are in the community, as well as people that trade options that might be struggling with how to enter trades, or they made mistakes. So if you go into the trading ATA, this is our technology that we create. I get this question a lot too. Let me touch on this briefly, actually. If you come into the main page, it's going to look like this. When you go into plans, guys, anybody that is on this $47 a month one, you guys can use one ATA. So it's Live Trader. You can all this stuff you can use. The free one is part of being. You can come into the community for free, trade with us, hang out with us. Even get some of our educational stuff, right? Which is actually quite a bit for free. This is if you want to use the technology, and the technology is going to pay for itself. So that's part of what I'll be talking about here. So you can see this is my test account I've been slowly working on. I think I had it at like $200 or something like a week ago. So it's slowly growing using it. But this is our trading ATA here. So typically you can see these are all the symbols that I'm trading or able to trade when it comes to the trading ATA. When you create your ATA, it's going to look similar to this, and you can choose which ones that you want to do. If you don't want to do any of them, you can disable them. If you want to preset volumes, you can do that. If you set it up as the infinity volume, that means that it's going to take whatever volume that you pass through. So on vacation, still not trading. Nice, John. Yeah, I'll do a quick review anyways for you guys. So this is something though, guys, this is amazing. I'm going to be using the crap out of this because you guys know me. I don't typically trade a lot of the other symbols. Apple, Amazon. I like to be hyper focused on the SPY. But the way that we have simplified this, I might actually start doing it. So let's say that you are looking up, let's start off by like this. So let's say I want to create a trade. I'm going to hit create. It's going to pop up this box. And this is for options only. It's going to tell you a little bit about what it's for. You have all the symbols that are available in there. You have your volume. You can see here it talks about how it's determining how many contracts you're opening. So we'll just say 1 for now. You choose your direction, call or put. You choose your percentage away from your strike price, and it's going to auto calculate what that price looks like. So if I were to increase this to a higher percent, right, it's going to adjust that. Now, this price right here is not going to move right now because of the fact that the markets are closed. But once the markets are open, you'll see this price continue to adjust with those percentages. So you'll have the strike date. If you're new to options, we just literally have nice little explanations on these question marks. When you come in, you say, okay, I want those options to expire Friday. Now that I have this here, let's say I'm trading the SPY. You can see the strike price here, it updated to its static spot. So let's say I'm trading the SPY. I have this up, I'm watching it, and one of my alerts goes off, and I go, man, what is that? And I say, oh, that was Tesla. Okay, let me take a look. Wow, Tesla's looking pretty bullish. We got bullish gap fill going on. We got a nice bullish candle. We're at the bottom of this range. We got plenty of room to move up. I'm going to take a Tesla trade. You can simply take this, drop it to Tesla. All it does is update that strike price. You hit create trade. It keeps all of the other stuff populated. And so you can literally flip between symbols that fast. Here's the cool part about this, guys. We were in close connection with some Tasty Trade support teams, and we were able to get some code that we can put into the execution of this that makes it so fast. The moment I hit create trade, within a second, it's like bam, it fires. The moment I hit close trade, bam, it fires. So for those who enter a trade or it takes too long to set it up, or you don't know how to pre-populate it, this is going to minimize so much time for you, because you can, and this is mobile friendly. You can do this on your cell phone, right? If you want to enter things. Now, the cool part is once I hit create trade, I don't have to push anything. It's going to just refresh, and it's going to put your trade whatever symbol that you traded in there, and it's going to show it. Now, we're working to add the running P&L. The tech team has told us that they don't have a direct way for us to pull it, but we did figure out the math in the calculations for the logic on how to create that P&L, to keep that running P&L, so you can literally just watch your P&L right from our dashboard. But in order to do that, we have to complete the streaming data to get the ask price from Tasty Trade, and so we're working through that. Once we get that, it'll be updated. Yeah, it's always on market. When you execute this, you want it to be just fast. And so the moment, so for the time being, just have it up on your phone or something like that. And the moment you see that you're in profit and you want to close it, you just hit close trade, confirm, boom, done. I mean, you can get in and out of these trades so fast. And again, the beauty is I may take advantage now of additional symbols. I might even start throwing some TA out there, guys, on our market insights for potential opportunities with other tech stocks, things like that people can do, whether bullish or bearish, and stuff to watch. Because, let's say, like I said, Tesla breaks. Now you're like, man, they're all breaking north. Holy cow! Like, I got a large account. I want to take advantage of a lot of these, right? You can literally do this so fast. You could come in, it stays all populated. I already I'm taking 7-day contracts. I can literally go, okay, let me do one for AMD. Create, boom. Let me go to Amazon. Bull market's back. Create, boom. Flipping all the way down. I got all these trades. Now you're sitting here going, nothing but money just running up, and then you just close the trades that you want to close. I mean, it's literally, we're kind of, speaking to it as it's options made simple, right? And to your point, John, think about when the first time you learned options. Every one of you, when you opened up that options dashboard, you're like, what is all these numbers? What is these strategies, the verticals, the, curve strike prices, the table, it's just, ask price, bid price. I mean, just what are all these running numbers? Nobody really understands what they even mean, right? With this setup, you don't have to really know what all that means, because it's going to trade it the way, you're always going to be a buyer. You're not a seller on this setup, right? But you just choose your direction and bam, enter it, hit create trade, and you're done. Oh yeah, it's wild. And so this is awesome. For those that are going to be trading in the room with us today, this is what I will be utilizing. And I hope you guys do too. CK is going to hop in today. We're going to do it just like we did last time, and we're just going to hit the first hour and just try to do some hard trading, right? And it's quick in, quick outs. And I think this is going to help a lot of you guys out on that. So now, to your point, you can actually use this with the live trader. So what I mean by that, well, and that's what I was going to mention, is you can enter the trade using this. And let's say something comes up and you're like, shoot, I gotta go. As long as you know what candle that you entered in, you can just force your live trader to enter that candle by adjusting your price and your time. Once you set up your live trader to show that you're in that trade, right, you just set your alert and it'll take the trade over from there. You don't have to watch it, if that makes sense. So that way, that's how you're going to use both technologies, right? Now, when you're doing this, you're entering the trade. But you can still, if you struggle with take profit, or you struggle with letting things run, and that's what you loved about the live trader, you can enter the trade. While the trade's open, you can come over and set up your live trader, right? It doesn't take very long once you get used to it. And I'll talk more about that in the room when we talk about it, how that works. So, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We're super excited to release that. I think it's gonna help a lot of people out with that. So, yeah, you can see we're still pushing up on this buy. So I'm gonna just real quick. I'll Yeah. Yeah, John, because the only thing our live trader cares about is uh, strike price, date, and direction. So as long as you open up your live trader to match those three things that you entered, you know, and it shows that buy like you're in that trade. Once it gets to those profit levels, it'll fire the close, and as long as those things match, it'll close it. Yep, it's gonna be awesome. So, quick recap. I already did the SPY, guys, but I know some of you guys joined a little bit late. I'll give you the little overview. Longer term wise, on the 1 hour, we have a potential cup and handle forming. The handle is a potential bull flag that is forming. We did get the push north. We are above the 21 and the 200, so could be a retest down to 432.45 again. But I would really watch for that 200 and this bull flag line to squeeze in this little pocket area today. You can see this would be about day close, so there's a chance that we may just range here, but we are also on 1, 2, 3, 4 type oscillation, so it could break typically in these patterns anywhere from about halfway down of that width. It could break out, right? So I have a inkling that we'll probably just range within here, unless some news comes out that thanks. Yeah, Alex, it's funny how Alex and I work, because his mind is all about coding. He's not a trader, right? And so I have to take kind of what I see, or CK and I see, and how to simplify things and then make it make sense to him from a coding standpoint. And then how fast he puts it up is ridiculous. It's funny because every project we always work on, I always tell him, like, man, what if we did this or did that? And he would say, oh, that might take a little bit. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Let's just do it right. If it takes a couple weeks, whatever. And then like the next day he'll be like, okay, I think I have it built. Let's test it. And I'm like, what? Like if you ever watch him code too, like when he's sharing his screen, the way he copy, paste, cuts, moves, like I can code. I don't claim to be the greatest coder. I can read code really well. I can fix code pretty well. Writing it from scratch, like building in the actual logic and the functions and all that from scratch is I can do it, but it takes time. I have to really work on it, right? But he's built. Oh yeah, the P&L math. I wonder if I still have my notes. No, I don't have it. I took it off, but you should have seen my scribble on my notepad. So a lot of times when I have to make them, because I have to take the math and make it make sense to send it to him so he can put the math into logic for code, right? And obviously the P&L math for crypto is a lot easier because it's just price movement, right? But when it comes to contracts, it's a little more difficult, a lot more involved. So, but we definitely cracked the math. We tested it all weekend and a little bit Friday, and the math is good. The only thing we need now is to just get that ask price ticker, and so that's what Tasty Trade's working on with us. So my overall concept, this is my vision. I want y'all to be able to click here, create the trade, boom, create the trade, and just watch your P&L straight from your dashboard. Not even have to log into your Tasty Trade account, right? Unless obviously something goes wrong, which the goal is to not. And so because then you can do it straight from your phone, you can do it, just extremely easy. You don't have to get onto multiple things. We just keep you all on our dashboard, so which is what we want. So but super excited for that. We did thoroughly test everything, so we are solid. We are live, so we put that announcement out. If you guys didn't see the announcements, make sure that you're signed up. If you're in the community, click on announcements here and make sure that you're signed up in here. Oh, looks like I forgot to put a header, but you can see this was the announcement there. So we talked about. So yeah, but really exciting. Let's see where we go today. I'll be honest with you guys. Today's going to be pretty wild because Mondays are fake outs, right? There's really not a lot of craziness going on other than we have, the potential World War III going on, right? And the Fed stuff is, it's so interesting because you got the meeting notes saying they're not worried. not really, they're not worried, but they think they can tread with caution, right? That was the word that caused us to like go to the moon. But then the CPI data came out and wasn't as good as what they thought. So people were like, maybe they won't be able to tread with caution, right? So a lot of volatility just coming from what the Fed's going to do or what they're going to say. So, but I do think that I think that we're getting into a spot where we may range a little bit, or we may already be ranging for a little bit. But you know, I think for me, unless the World War III obviously breaks out, you know, I think that I don't think that we're done going up. I mean, I think that it's going to be a bumpy ride up. But, you know, when you think about this and you really zoom out, you know, long term, right? You can see, let me mute these so now they're so far away. The overall direction is still up, guys. I mean, we're still up. And so, you know, everything else is just pullbacks. I mean, you know, you think about this, as you push up, we pull back, and we push back up, ranged for a little bit, right? We broke up, pulled back. I mean, these look small, but they're 444 all the way back to 431. I mean, that's a $13 pullback, right? But we're still trending upward. Now, interesting enough, though, you can see, you know, we are creating kind of that lower highs from here. So the tell is going to be when you take your lower trend line, right? Like, so if you were to take, let's go to like the daily. If you were to take your lowest area, right, and pull this up like that, if you were to hit this wick, that's going to pull us down to like 404. So if you want something a little more close, right, you can pull it up to this area. I would prefer to hit somewhere around there. To me, this actually is going to be a little more viable because you do have all this in here hit, you have all this in here hit, you have all that in there hit. You could even kind of pull it up just slightly more, right, to see where we got this bounce right there, because it was obviously very viable. So if you catch that, now you're catching this clean, and this just overshoots a little bit, right? But there's also a clean area there. So now if you zoom in, whenever I do like a bottom of bottom lines, I always like to make it something different. Just so that way when I do come in on it, right, it's going to be a little easier to see. So now when we come in on this and we stretch it out, you can see we're really just bouncing, right? We had that bounce off of the 420. We could potentially come all the way back down to this 422, 423 range, depending when we hit it. I mean, heck, you know, we could continue this channel like this all the way down, smack this around 423, and then just take off north, right? So definitely possible. So, but you know, we have our kind of localized downtrend line here. If we do come up here and we happen to actually break this one right there, I mean, we're going to run up in a pretty decent way. So, there's some, as far as where we might bump our heads up top, I mean, you can take and you can see these lines right here lined up pretty well with something like that. So you could kind of box in another potential, you know, area where we might bump our head if we break this. So if we come up and we break this and start hitting around 438, we hold support 439. I mean, we could run as high as 444 before we have any kind of retrace. So that's what I'll be watching for. It's 9:15, guys. I'm gonna shut it down, and we'll see you guys in the room. We're gonna be doing some live trading, so hopefully we can get everybody in there. And like I said, check out using that create trade today, because I think it'll help a lot of you guys out. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. We'll see you guys soon.